Love After Lockup. And guys, in this last episode of Love After Lockup, it was unbelievable. First thing we got to see what to talk about is Daonte and Nicolle. Now, I want to start off actually in reverse. I want to go to the end of the episode because at the end of the episode, we got to see Daonte drop off Nicolle. They were on a date of some sort, really stupid. Typical Daonte and Nicolle. They didn't have much chemistry or anything good going on, but he dropped her off. He apparently had a gut feeling because she stayed out on her porch and she would not let him come inside. And then all of a sudden, he did a loop around the neighborhood. He stayed on the street to kind of keep his eyes on her, which number one is kind of creepy, but he had the gut feeling, so you got to give the guy credit. He didn't want to be a complete, idiot and just let her walk all over him because she would not let him inside, which he thought was kind of suspicious. So he ended up pulling around the block. He waited out, and a couple minutes later, a car pulled up and picked up Nicolle. So the million-dollar question is, number one, weren't the cameras kind of on her, and wouldn't she know that was all going on, number one? Number two, she knew that it was going to be on TV, so it is kind of like stupid. But number three, my question is, who is this person picking her up? Is it her friend Tia / girlfriend, person Tia? Or is it this Zach guy that spells his name with 2 Ks? Or is it someone else? Or is it an Uber driver? Who is it? So that was the million-dollar question. Is Nicolle cheating on Daonte? Clearly she is talking to someone else. Rumor has it she married someone. I don't know if it was Daonte. I don't know if it was Zach with 2 Ks in his name. I have no idea. But it was someone. That's what rumor has. We don't know for sure, though. So, is Nicolle likely being picked up by a person to go cheat on Daonte? More than likely. But now I want to revert back to what happened at the beginning of the episode. Basically, Daonte's mom got to meet up with Nicolle and Daonte. You know what? The mom was pretty much just right. Typically, moms, not always though, not always, but typically most moms, they're usually more on the right side. And the mom just said, listen, Nicolle, this guy's paying for all your stuff. And the mom was kind of actually uncomfortable. It was kind of weird. The mom knows that Daonte's been saving himself for Nicolle, which is like, why does she have to know that? I guess it's all going to be on TV anyway. But, Daonte just tells anyone anything, apparently. So the mom knows what's going on with that whole situation. And she just said, listen, Nicolle, why won't you be, with my son if you're okay with him spending all his money on you? And Nicolle basically had no answer. She said she's not comfortable, which, if that's the case, that's totally cool. But, and that is cool. You know what? If she's not comfortable, she should be okay not being comfortable. We should not try to push the boundary, or when she's ready, she's ready. My problem with this whole her not being comfortable thing is she's talking to another guy, a guy named Zach with 2 Ks, and she's certainly comfortable with him, and then she's talking to this girl named Tia. It's like she's just not comfortable with Daonte. So I kind of agree with Daonte's mom, where it's like, if you are not comfortable being at that level in a relationship, you should not be comfortable with him spending all his money on you, because it is kind of a similar thing, kind of, somewhat, sort of. So I'm not a fan of this girl. I can't stand Nicolle. That was basically it. She tried to butter up the mom and say she's in love with your son. And I love Daonte. He's amazing. But it's like, really? Because you're also talking to, like the millionth time, you're talking to a man named Zach with 2 Ks, and you're talking to a girl named Tia. It's just not like you're not in love with him. So more on them in a minute, but basically, Daonte and Nicolle, there's just no way they're going to get married. Now, the thing I will say is, though, Life After Lockup, the Love After Lockup spinoff, did just come out, and it's going to be out in the end of August, I think, and Daonte and Nicolle are going to be on it. So more on them in a minute, but now let's go on to, you guys, Jeff and Anissa. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Everyone pronounces it different. Let's just go with Anissa. I don't really care. Oh my God. She's one of those kind of people I want to sit down and just give her a hug and say, Anissa, run, 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 run. Basically, this Jeff guy, I guess, got out of the halfway house. I didn't even realize that, but he got out of the halfway house, and he's moving in with her, of course, and she's just being walked all over. The guy is a complete, and I don't want to sound rude. I never really mean to. And I don't know if yeah, he's a deadbeat. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. He's a deadbeat, though. That's all I'm going to use, just that word. He has clearly done a lot of stuff in his life that is not good. He's a deadbeat. He's a con artist. He's a user. That's all I'm gonna say. So I feel bad for Anissa. Anissa seems like a very kind, nice person. She might not be off camera. She could be just as much of a deadbeat as him, but she appears to be sweet and nice and wanting to help this man and have a life with this man. And you can just see, not only does this Jeff guy not give a crap about her, he's also talking to other women while he's staying in her house. So it's a really screwy, messed up, sad situation. And like I said, I feel extremely bad for her, but also I'm kind of like, this man has stood you up 2 times. What do you expect? He's just a complete deadbeat. We got to see her friend, who is like kind of similar age to Jeff. I don't know if they had like a romantic thing. Her friend and this guy, you know, her friend and Anissa. I don't really know. Jeff thinks so, but it's like, dude, Jeff. Okay, Anissa might have had a relationship with this friend guy she has. She probably didn't, but it's like, Jeff, you are talking to your ex-girlfriends, and it's not in a friendly way. It's like, you're talking about meeting up and whatnot. So he's all talk, he's all crap. I probably shouldn't talk too bad about him because he seems kind of scary, but I just don't have any interest in this guy. I think he's a deadbeat, and then it looks like apparently he has some big secret, typical Love After Lockup fashion. They have a big secret, and they are never going to actually reveal it until, like, you know, 100 episodes away from now. So we're going to have to wait and see what this big secret is. But he's telling Anissa's friend, this neighbor friend, I have this big secret. I don't know what it could possibly be, but he's waiting to tell, you know, his friend. He's probably going to tell Anissa, and I'm sure Anissa, she's so madly in love, probably will not even care at all. So we got to see that. Got to see Daonte and Nicolle. Got to see Josh and Courtney real quick. One thing I'm going to say on these two is I thought they were in love. I thought they were happy, but Courtney went shopping with one of her girlfriends for a wedding dress, and she basically just said, listen, all the guy does all day is play video games. He shows me no attention, and it's like he's not even there. And I was just like, what? Like, I thought they were like a really good couple. I thought they were doing well. Apparently not. Kind of shocking. So comment below what you guys think on them. I'm definitely shocked, though. I really hate to hear that, 'cause I like Josh. I like Courtney. As a couple, I thought they were well. Now, her friend did say putting Josh and Courtney together is like adding, like, they said, like a hurricane and a tornado in one room kind of thing. And it's like, really? He seems calm. She seems kind of calm, so I'm kind of like, this is really shocking and weird. And then we got to see Brittany and Ray. Long story short with them, Ray got out. His grandmother was there to greet him from the halfway house. So was Brittany. Little awkward, not too terribly bad. Though the grandma just has her guard up, and I don't blame her. You know, I don't blame her at all. Brittany seems nice, a little wishy-washy on her, but Ray seems like a real nice guy. Definitely kind of shy, kind of nervous. He goes over to Brittany's house. She was in a real, I gotta give her credit, real nice house. You know, it's a great place. And then that's when it got a little bit awkward. Like, they definitely, it was more awkward. Ray is more of a shy guy, and I think Brittany is still kind of nervous, kind of awkward. They are definitely in the process of taking their relationship to the next, you know, level, but yeah, a little bit awkward for those two. And I want to say maybe the last couple might not have been that. I can't remember if we saw Doug and Rachel or not, but either way, the last couple I can remember would be Stan and Lisa needs to run. If you don't remember, Stan went off on Lisa a couple episodes ago. He was saying she's a bad mom, and that he raised his kids, and that she didn't, and he kept going on and on and on. He was blaming it on liquid courage. Maybe it was. Either way, it was very rude comments. He halfway somewhat sort of apologized. She halfway somewhat sort of accepted the apology, kind of, and they ended up going out on another date. And on that date, it went relatively well, but he wanted her to come back and hang out so they could talk and do what Stan wants to do, if you know what I mean. And Lisa basically just said, I will come back and talk to you, but that is it. They got home. They kind of got a little cranky, got a little ornery. One thing led to another. Stan took all of her stuff and her belongings in a trash bag and threw them out the door and said, get up on out of here. There really wasn't a big breaking point. It was more so just they're kind of constantly fighting, and Lisa's not going to get pushed around. And she did have some demands, I will say, which I wasn't really in favor of. She kind of wanted like her own one-bedroom apartment. She wanted a car. She did have some demands for sure. And I have no idea what Stan agreed to do and not do. And I'm not saying Lisa had any right to, you know, request pay for my apartment. Like, absolutely not. If I was Stan, I would say, listen, you can move in with me, live in like my basement or something like that. Like, I could see that. but I don't think it would be appropriate for Stan just to pay for an apartment or buy her a car. So Stan got kind of irritated. She was kind of being pushy, but Stan was kind of being rude too, and they were clashing, and then he threw her out, and that is probably, if I had to guess, the end of Stan and Lisa. If I had to guess, they might have a little bit more time together, but at the end of the day, they're not going to work. Stan wants one thing only, which I refuse to repeat, but if all adults, know what I'm talking about, he just says it every 2 seconds, so it's like it's not very hard to understand what I'm talking about. And Lisa, I don't think she's even interested in men, to be honest. I think she just wants a girlfriend, which is fantastic, amazing, but it's like you can't be with Stan then.